Welcome back. On the same day Mitch McConnell announced he'd be stepping down from Senate leadership, the Supreme Court agreed to hear Donald Trump's case claiming presidential immunity in his election interference trial. Let's talk about that and more with my guest tonight. He's an attorney. He's a political strategist. Perfect for both those topics. Kaivan Shroff up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Good to see you again, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be on, as always.
Let's first of all talk about Mitch McConnell, because I think when we look at everything that he has done, clearly a lightning rod for controversy for many. For many on the right, he was a hero because he really led the charge to reshape the judiciary, and obviously Donald Trump helped to accelerate that. But what changes over the next couple of months as we near the end of his leadership?
I was going to say two very related topics today. The guy that broke the court and then the broken court at work. Well, I think, you know, Mitch McConnell has been a figure, one of the darkest figures in democracy, I think, in modern history. He's broken the Senate as it has effectively functioned really for decades. He was unprecedented in making sure to stall and attack President Obama, our first black president, every chance he got. Now, of course, we're talking about his role in really degrading our Supreme Court beyond repair. So I think he's going to be around for months to come. He's stepping down as leader, but, you know, certainly still pulling some of the strings there.
But here's a guy who, you mentioned that, and yeah, you can look back at the Merrick Garland nomination fight that never really was back in 2016 after Scalia died. But when you look at the state of the GOP right now, Mitch McConnell, who has been very adamant, I would say, after January 6th, really pointing, when you think about the party, he was probably one of the strongest, if you want to call it that, voices speaking out against Trump. He's been attacked by Trump. His wife's been attacked by Trump. So when you look at who could potentially replace him, it really is interesting to see in what direction this could go.
Absolutely correct. I mean, the bar really is as low as you just explained, because for one day, Mitch McConnell did the right thing and criticized Trump. But then in the weeks following the attack and the years following, he helped with the cover-up, so much so that Capitol Police even issued a letter slamming him for interfering with investigations into the January 6th attack. So an absolutely disgraceful legacy. And what has he done in the years since? Again, he's done everything he can to make sure that MAGA extremists take over the Republican Party and the country.
All right, so as we look at that and we talk about the three Supreme Court justices that were appointed during the Trump era, by way, obviously, of Mitch McConnell, Neil Gorsuch should send him a fruit basket, clearly, because Neil Gorsuch would not be on the Supreme Court if not for stalling the Garland nomination. But here we are, the Supreme Court saying that they will take up that Trump immunity case. And when you look at the schedule, people had said all along, legal observers looked at this and said, the key to Trump's defense here is delay, delay, delay. And really, that's the key for many cases out there. But it looks like, regardless of where the Supreme Court goes here, Team Trump gets their wish.
Absolutely. I mean, it's incredibly suspect. We've known, as you point out, that in every single legal case Trump has, his tactic is delay, 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 because he hopes he can return to power and then shut it all down. And what the Supreme Court has done here is really play right into that, because nobody's arguing that they don't have the ability to take up this immunity case. In fact, it is an issue of national importance. But why did they stall for so long? And why don't they want the American people to understand what is happening in this trial, what the verdict might be before the election? That is a huge deal, very unfair. And we talk about, you know, Mitch McConnell corrupting this court. Every single conservative justice has a conflict of interest or an ethics issue. Let's see if I can run through them, because I think I can. You have Amy Coney Barrett, whose husband opens up a law office in D.C. just days after she is confirmed and hides the client list. You have John Roberts, whose wife is making millions of dollars as a legal recruiter for law firms arguing before her husband's court, doesn't disclose it. You have Alito and Thomas getting all this money from billionaire right-wing benefactors. You have Kavanaugh, who has $200,000 in debts magically disappear with no explanation. And you have Gorsuch, who's engaged in a land deal. He couldn't sell off a property. He becomes a Supreme Court justice and sells it to a law firm partner. So much corruption here. And I don't think any American should be reassured by this voluntary opt-in ethics code that the court has said they'll adopt in response to all of this.
So when people hear what you said just now, they will, who are stand diametrically opposed to where you stand politically, they'll say, well, Sonia Sotomayor pressured schools and libraries to buy her book, that she was put on junkets to promote writings that she did in the past. I mean, can you make the argument that everybody, I mean, look, I know it's a both sides issue here, but can you make the argument that this is something that has plagued the high court regardless of political affiliation?
I don't think so at all. You know, I mean, that story was debunked. What I think it exposes is the media's effort at the Washington Post and the New York Times to both sides everything, because if you go look at that story, what really happened was that her team reached out to these places to make sure they, A, had enough books for people who wanted them, and then did ask that if you were in line to get your book signed by Justice Sotomayor, you did in fact have a book to sign. That is not the same as having private dinners and leaking these opinions and, you know, going to right-wing fundraisers. So absolutely not the same.
All right. Kaivan Shroff, always appreciate you joining me. Good to see you again.
You as well.
Take care. Final Five back after this.